Hello and welcome back to Jo's Art History Podcast Bitesize. Small, manageable podcast episodes that see me, Jo McLaughlin, your host and resident art historian, deep dive into a specific artwork or artist in 10 minutes or less. This week we're learning all about Judy Chicago's incredible iconic work, The Dinner Party. Let's get started. For those of you that may not know, Judy Chicago is a pivotal figure in contemporary art and is known for her groundbreaking contributions to feminist art and education. Born in 1939 in Chicago, Illinois, she adopted the name Judy Chicago in the early 1970s to assert her independence in a male-dominated art world. Her work boldly explores women's experiences, gender and sexuality, and it challenges the societal norms and celebrates female identity. Chicago has a hugely diverse body of work and works in an array of mediums. This includes painting, sculpture, textiles, lights, smoke, you name it, she does it. She's an educator and women's rights activist, and Judy founded the first feminist art program in the US at California State University in the 1970s, and later co-founded the Feminist Workshop in Los Angeles. Judy Chicago is internationally recognised as a trailblazing artist. However, one of her best known and celebrated works is the seminal piece known as The Dinner Party. The Dinner Party was completed between 1974 and 1979 and stands as an iconic work within the feminist canon of art history. And as an installation piece, it's often regarded as one of the most important and controversial works of the late 20th century. The conceptual foundation for The Dinner Party is deeply rooted in feminist ideology and Chicago's desire to address the marginalisation of women throughout history. The idea of the work began to take shape in the early 1970s, a period characterised by its burgeoning feminist movement. The project's original working title was called 25 Women Who Were Eaten Alive, a metaphor for how women's contributions have been consumed and forgotten by history. This evolved into the concept of a ceremonial banquet, a more direct representation of honouring these overlooked female figures throughout history. Chicago decided that the banquet itself would be set out in a triangle shape, symbolising equality, and 13 place settings on each side, referencing Da Vinci's Last Supper. Now, it's a mixed media installation, and as I said, it's set out in a triangle, and each side of the triangle measures 14.5 metres, or 48 feet on each side, if that's how you work. And it has 39 place settings, each dedicated to an individual woman within history. Now, as mentioned before, it was in a triangle shape, and the shape is associated with the female body and the concept of equality, which is central to the work's design. Each place setting includes hand-painted china, an embroidered runner, a gold chalice, utensils, and each is individually designed to reflect the woman that's being honoured at the dinner table. The plates at each setting are perhaps the most controversial aspect of the piece, as each is designed to represent a vulva form celebrating female sexuality and creativity. The plates' designs vary greatly, incorporating abstract, floral and butterfly forms to reflect the unique contributions and personalities of the women that they're representing. The choice of this was a deliberate attempt to reclaim the female genitalia as a source of power and creativity, countering its objectification and the taboo which surrounds it. The runners themselves, which each plate lies upon, are richly embroidered with motifs and symbols relevant to the honorees' lives and their achievements, including their name and a brief description of what they did while alive. The elaborate embroidery and ceramic work showcases the traditional feminine crafts of needlework and pottery, and it's elevating them to a status of high art and challenging the gendered hierarchy of artistic mediums. The 39 women themselves are actually grouped chronologically, and there's 3 chronological periods, one for each side of the table: prehistory to the Roman Empire, the beginning of Christianity to the Reformation, and the American Revolution to the Women's Revolution. The organisation not only highlights the historical conundrum, but also underscores the evolution and expansion of women's roles in society. Now, it's only a 10-minute long episode, so I don't have time to rattle through who each of the incredible 39 women are. However, to give you an idea from prehistory to the Roman Empire, we have people like Judith, Sappho, and Boudica. From the beginning of Christianity to Reformation, we have Saint Bridget. We have Artemisia Gentileschi, the incredible female Renaissance artist, and of course, Elizabeth I. We have, from the American Revolution to the Women's Revolution, we have Sacagawea. We have Emily Dickinson. We have Virginia Woolf. And one of my personal favourites, we have Georgia O'Keeffe. Now, the dinner party itself was a massive collaboration involving over 400 people, predominantly women, in helping make and assemble the work. And for this, Chicago worked with ceramicists, needleworkers, researchers, and other artisans. The collaborative aspect was also crucial to the piece. It's reflecting the idea of women not being pitted against each other, but actually working together to celebrate each other. And I think that's very beautiful. The piece itself took 5 years to complete and is meticulous in both detail and research in its execution. So the artwork debuted in 1979 in the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art and was an immediate sensation. It attracted large crowds and sparked widespread debate. Many praised its groundbreaking feminist statements and a powerful homage to women's contribution to history. However, like all things, it also faced criticism. Some detractors found the vulva imagery vulgar or unnecessary, arguing that it reduced women's identity to their autonomy. Others criticised the project for its perceived Eurocentrism and lack of representation of women of non-Western descent. Despite this, however, the dinner party has remained an influential work and was donated to the Brooklyn Museum in 2002, where it's become a centrepiece of the Sackler Centre for Feminist Art. With it now being a permanent display within the collection, it's allowed countless people to engage with the work. The dinner party itself has a lasting impact and legacy on feminist art and discourse. It has challenged the art world to reconsider the value and significance of women's work and sparked discussions on issues of gender, sexuality, and representation. The work's legacy is also evident in the numerous exhibitions, publications, and academic studies which it has inspired. Furthermore, the project itself has influenced generations of artists and activists. It's opened up new possibilities of exploring feminist themes in art, encouraging a more inclusive and diverse representation of the women's experience. The collaborative nature of the work has also set a precedence for collective artist practices, highlighting the importance of community and shared labour in creative endeavours. All this goes to show that the dinner party is a landmark work, both in art historical terms and within the feminist discourse. And it will continue to inspire for generations to come. And there you have it, another episode of Jo's Art History Podcast, Bitesize. Small, manageable podcast episodes that see me, Jo McLaughlin, your host and resident art historian, deep dive into a specific artwork or artist in 10 minutes or less. If you've enjoyed this episode, please make sure to like, rate and subscribe. It helps other people find us and it means more to me than you know. And while you're doing that, why not share the podcast with someone you think might enjoy it too? If you'd like to support the future of the podcast, please consider purchasing and gifting me a book from my Amazon wishlist, which is in the show notes below. This will be used to research future episodes of the podcast, both full-length episodes and bite-sized episodes too. If you'd like to get in touch, you can do that in several ways. You can email me, joesarthistory@gmail.com, or you can find me on Instagram, which is @joesarthistory. Finally, I've been your host and resident art historian, Jo McLaughlin. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, keep learning and remember, art is for all. Bye.